How you doing, Ravens Space family? Today we're going to talk about the weakest position on the Ravens offense, and that is wide receiver. But specifically, we're going to talk about receiver James Proche and whether he's going to make that next step in order to become a true number 2 receiver. Now, many people think he's going to be number 1, but again, that's a large step going from a 6th-round pick to the number 1 receiver on an NFL team, especially after last year where he got those same rave reviews and still was not able to even become the 3rd receiver on the team as he was saddled behind Hollywood Brown, Rashad Bateman, and Devin Duvernay. However, I'm going to give you a couple things that I think that James Proche can provide and allow the Ravens to become multi-dimensional on offense. I think he is the key only because he will be the one that will be getting most of the one-on-one matchups in the season. And then if you stay to the very, very end, I'll give a prediction of what I think he will do this upcoming season. So the first thing I think that needs to happen is he needs to become an electric short yardage route runner. There are some in the NFL now, like Hunter Renfrow, who are not good at other parts of the game, but when it comes to short, precise routes, they could be considered one of the best. The reason I say this is because someone has to take some pressure off of Rashad Bateman. Bateman will be asked to do a lot this season. He can't be the best person at running short routes, medium routes, and then deep routes. Again, without Hollywood Brown, he's gonna have to pick up that slack and go down the field more. And the truth is, James Proche is not a fast receiver. He ran a 4.5 in the combine, so he needs to do his best to get open when it comes to 3rd and shorts. He will be the number 3 option at the very most. Again, Mark Andrews will be number 1. Rashad Bateman will be number 2. Shoot, in some cases, he's going to get one-on-one matchups on 1st and 2nd down as well because the defense will be overreacting to Lamar Jackson in the run game and then to Mark Andrews. This is his time to shine. He probably will never ever get a better opportunity than the opportunity he has now. One of the good things about his game that he does have that gives him an advantage in this kind of short to intermediate routes is that he has excellent hands. He rarely drops a ball, unlike Hollywood Brown, so he can make those tough contested catches. Again, this is going to be his bread and butter. If he tries to go deep, he won't be as effective, and we have to leave space on the medium routes, of course, to Mark Andrews. So hopefully, if Proche can become a Wes Welker type of player, that opens up our offense because now you have the medium covered, you have the run game covered, and then you also have those short routes covered, and we're going to depend on our other receivers like Duvernay and Bateman to go. Another thing that Proche has that a lot of receivers don't is he has the ability to be a safe blank. Now, I know a lot of people did not watch him play in college, and I didn't either, but I did do my research on him. And he was a number 1 receiver in college, and not just the number 1 receiver, he was a workhorse receiver. He was one of the players in college that you knew the ball was going to, and a lot of people still couldn't stop it. The thing about him is that he has a wide catch radius for his height. Though he's only 5'11", he ranked number 7th in arm length out of all college receivers the year he came out. And when you watch the tape and even watch it in the NFL, he doesn't have a problem getting to those high jump balls and making plays. And honestly, that's something that the Ravens have never had. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win these jump balls 100% of the time. He's just too short for that, and he hasn't proven that he has that special skill similar to players like Antonio Brown, who even though they're shorter, were able to catch the ball over taller defenders. But he will win these matchups, especially if he's in the slot. If he's the slot receiver for this team and is constantly running those short to intermediate routes, one time a game, he's going to hit you for a deep ball because even though he can't outrun you, he can outjump you and outreach you if you're his similar height. And lastly, he brings a toughness to the receiving core that honestly, we didn't have for the last couple. Everyone knows that your team usually takes after the traits of your best players. And when your best player is Hollywood Brown, you got a little diva in your receiving. But when you have players like Devin Duvernay, James Proche, and Rashad Bateman, you know that you're going to get guys who are going to be gritty, who are going to fight on blocks, fight for passes, and really just do their job, the thing that the Ravens love to do. So what I'm looking for this season from James Proche isn't anything great. I don't think he's going to be a Pro Bowl or anything like that. But if he can move the chains consistently a couple times a game, we can be successful as a football team. Again, we just have to be multi-dimensional. That will be successful. Give Lamar the pieces, and I think he's an artist that can make it work. James Proche's best case scenario is to be a chain mover who is constantly putting pressure on linebackers because he's catching so many short routes. And if linebackers have to worry about our receiver catching those short to intermediate routes, then I think we can make space for not only the run game, but also for players like Rashad Bateman. Now, like I said, that's the best case scenario, and I do think that he'll fall a little bit short of it, only because I think it's very clear that the offense is going to be, let's run this football as much as we can, then let's get it to Mark Andrews, and then let the other wide receivers fight for it. And when it comes to deep balls, I really don't think a lot of them will be thrown to Proche because you have Devin Duvernay, Bateman. So again, I do think he'll be considered the number 2 receiver, but I don't think he'll have stats that are comparable with other number 2 receivers in the NFL. But hopefully hopefully he proves me wrong. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. I appreciate it. If you've made it here, I want to issue a challenge to you. Whoever the first person is to become a year-long Patreon member and then leave a comment in the comment sections below letting us know, the Raven Space will send you a ticket to go watch the Redskins versus the Ravens in the final preseason game. Again, go to our Patreon, comment below, we'll get you that ticket. Thanks, and go Ravens.